Hey everyone, this is Chad Power, and this is my Unit 8 video on flexibility. I'm going to start by explaining some of the stretches that we learned from a static standpoint, and then also demonstrate some of the PNF stretches that we learned and were included in our lesson on flexibility. So, first things first. And I apologize for the limited space that I have here, so I'll do my best to try and capture all this on video. Um, the biggest thing I think when we're talking about static stretching, or just some of the things that were important for sports performance. We want to stretch the fascia and not just the muscle, so we want to target all layers of the connective tissue. We want to synchronize our breathing to tune our nervous system, because the more relaxed we are by taking deep breaths, I think the deeper we can get into our stretching and really maximize our range of motion. And number 3 was emphasize range of motion and flexibility without pain. So when we stretch, we want to have no strain or no pain. And then lastly, we want to stretch in multiple directions that add specific components that are necessary for the sport that either you teach or coach, in addition to your own personal fitness expectations and things of that nature. So the first stretch that I'm going to demonstrate is a static stretch in the video that was talked about. Really what this stretch focuses on is a hip series stretch that really tries to highlight and trigger the hip flexors. So the first thing I want to do is I want to start with one knee into the ground, the other knee bent at a 90-degree angle. And the first part of the stretch, I really just want to lean in. As I lean in, I want to try and kind of flex my hip flexor here, kind of come back and relax. We want to get like 3-second holds here. So I'm going to lean in, take a deep breath, and then exhale on the way out. I'm going to lean in once again, and now I'm going to add a little active rotation here by pushing this hip out. Okay. From there, the second part of the front lunge stretch is going to move towards more of a lateral lunge. So from this position, now I'm going to take a step out this way, and I'm going to perform the same motion where I lean into the lunge deeply, and then I slightly rotate, trying to push this hip out. I'm going to come back and then rock back. Same thing again, lean in, relax, get that hip out, and then come back. And then the final part of the stretch is the lateral component, where now I'm going to take a wider step out so I can really try and also work on my hip flexors and my groin. Same concept, good breath, really extend into this deeply, push that hip out. You can even extend the arm up and reach the palm for the sky, and then come back and relax. I would perform the exact same concept or the exact same 3 lunges with the opposite leg after I've gone ahead and done that, because what we do to one side, we want to make sure that we do to the other. The next stretch I'm going to perform is what they call the downward dog in yoga. This is great for the hamstrings, the calves, and the glutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start in a standing position. From here I want to be relaxed. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk out, or I'm going to almost kind of fall down and catch myself with my knees slightly bent, and then slowly walk myself back while pushing my hips back in order to really get a nice stretch back here, my hamstrings and my glutes. This is also good for the lower back as well, taking some of the pressure and strain and tightness, okay, that can accumulate in the lower back. So the first movement is really just right here. And then from here, I'm going to catch myself. I'm going to start to straighten my legs and push those hips back. Walk it out slowly. Push straight my legs and push those hips back. Bend my knees. And now slowly walk it in to this position right here. From here, I now am going to grab the back of my ankles, all right, and then really try and pull my chest to my knees. While continuing to breathe. And then as I come up, I'm returned, and now I'm ready to go. The last stretch here I'm going to demonstrate, or actually I have two more. We have what we call the leg swing. So this can be performed two different ways. We can do this from a lateral position. We'll start with the knees bent and work out. And then as we work into the stretch, now we're really going to try and extend that leg, working on the abductor right there. Same concept if I was facing this way. You may work better if you have something to brace yourself. Not completely necessary if you have great balance. But from here now, I'll straighten it out and really try and swing that leg out. From here, we're going to go to a glute stretch. This is a great stretch. I'm going to be on my back from this position. I'm going to not cross my feet, but I'm going to bring my right leg across my knee and then use my hand to pull back on my hamstring. So let me see if I can make sure I capture this one. So I should be fully laying on my back. I'm going to bring my right leg up. Should get my ankle right in line with my knee right here. Take a deep breath. And then pull this knee back right here. I would now relax. Something you want to hold for a 6 to 8 count. Swap legs. Make sure they're lined up properly, not overextended. Take a big deep breath and relax. And then really start to pull that hamstring close to your chest. So that would be the glute stretch that we saw in our static exercise video. Next, I'm going to go ahead and transition to some of the PNF stretches. The first one is the PNF quad stretch. So to kind of explain the stretch, I'll be lying on my side with both legs extended. I'll then reach with my left arm for my left ankle and pull that knee or that ankle back almost to my glute, and then use my right leg to provide resistance, all right, on the inside of my left knee, all right? So I'll be back here in this position. I'll be laying on my side. My arm will be extended. I'll now reach for my ankle right here and really try and pull back. Now once I've pulled back, I'll move my right leg into position, and this leg is really going to push on this hamstring, on this quad, to really try and help give me a great stretch. I want to hold this for a 6 to 8 count. You can also fire the hip flexor there, and that should help you loosen up that area as well. So same stretch, different side. Lying on my side, I'm going to reach for that ankle, pull it back to my glute, and then move my left leg now to apply the resistance to stretch the quad. So we want to make sure we're doing a great job taking synchronized breaths right there. The next one would be our PNF quad stretch. This one's going to be a little bit tough to demonstrate because I don't have somebody to help me out. So I'm going to try and use this foam roller to assist me. The key is to make sure that I have my belly button into the ground. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach back, for my ankle and try and bring my foot all the way to my glute, okay? And then I want to extend at the hip. So from this position, let's just say I'll start with my right leg. So my left leg will be fully extended. My hip is off the ground and in to the foam roller right here. I'm going to reach back for my ankle, keep it in line with my hamstring, pull back, and provide resistance to really try and stretch out that glute. Go ahead and switch sides. Pull back for that ankle. Reach. Take a deep breath. And try and get that ankle right there to my glute. Pull that thing up. All right. The last stretch I'm going to perform is our groin stretch. This is also called this was the PNF groin. This stretch is obviously targets the groin, so I'm gonna first start in a butterfly position. If I were to have a partner, all right, then once I get comfortable in this position, I would have my partner from behind me really try and push down on the inside of my knees to provide extra resistance for my groin. But since I don't, it's okay. I can still do this on my own. I'm just going to use my elbows, okay, to kind of push down on the inside of my knees, trying to get the outside of my knee to the ground. So I'm going to take a deep breath. And then really try and push on the inside of my knees to stretch that groin. All right, so that's the PNF groin stretch. So the stretches we have done, we focused on the groin, we focused on the hamstring, we focused on the quad, and we've also unlocked the hip region. And those are obviously three very important areas when focusing on athletic performance and getting our bodies warmed up for competition.